Hello, I'm Ari Hanwright.
And I'm Dalton Ortiz. The Oakleaf Online starts now.
You're watching the Oakleaf Online, a production of the Media 19 Studio Production Fest. Today is Tuesday, March 7th, 2023.
Well, SRJC students, I hope that you're getting settled nicely into your spring semester. If you're looking for some entertainment to keep you balanced, consider checking out the Petaluma Cinema Series. Film screenings take place every Wednesday through May 10th at 7 p.m. in Ellis Auditorium on the SRJC Petaluma campus. Cost for the cinema series is $5 for students and free for Cub Card Premium members. This week's showing on March 8th is EO, nominated for an Oscar for Best Foreign Feature Film, and next week on March 15th, producer Helen Shear will be in the house to discuss Body Parts, a documentary that explores the process of intimate scenes in film and TV. The producer, DP, and intimacy coordinator will be in the Petaluma campus conducting a workshop with students before the documentary screening. Perhaps we should have saved that for the late night show.
If you're thinking about going, you should consider bundling up. It's going to be cold this week. Here's Juan Torres in the studio to give us the scoop on this week's weather forecast.
Good evening, I'm Juan Torres. Here's your local weather update. Today it'll be 52 degrees with a 19% chance of rain with a 10 miles per hour wind. And in the night it'll be 38 degrees with a 96% chance of rain. And this is how your week will be looking. There's some high storms coming from Friday onward. Stay dry and be safe on the roads during these showers.
Thanks, Juan. Well, it seems the Bear Cubs break a season record. The SRJC baseball team scored their highest number of runs against the College of Marin. The Cubs swung their way to victory with a clean score of 21-9. This continues their 5-game winning streak, racking their total amount of victories to 7 of the 8 games they've played. Way to go, Bear Cubs. All you other teams better watch yourselves. The Cubs are on a roll.
If sports aren't quite your thing, perhaps a little drama is more to your liking. Here's Samuel Gleason and Logan Whithouse bringing you SRJC's theater program's journey during COVID.
In the fall semester of 2017, SRJC's theater, Burbank Auditorium, underwent construction for modernization, upgrading the building with new technology and rearranging many aspects of the building's structure.
It was gorgeous and overwhelming and disorienting. I was so used to the old building because I started at Santa Rosa Junior College in 2007, so I guess I'd been teaching in the old building 11 or 12 years.
The biggest new feature was the addition of the studio theater. We had never had a studio theater. For at least 40, 50 years, the department's been asking for a studio theater, so we finally got the 3/4 thrust, 200-seat studio theater. We had a green room for the first time, which is a room for students, actors, and technicians to hang out in. And for the first time ever in the history of the theater department, we had a real dressing room. People don't realize we never had a dressing room.
Productions of The Cripple of Inishman and The Wedding Singer were scheduled to premiere in the new studio theater and Burbank Auditorium's main stage, respectively. Cripple of Inishman opened on March 6th of 2020 and successfully ran one weekend of shows, plus a Wednesday show on March 11th. The following morning, SRJC sent out emails stating that COVID-19 had been declared a global pandemic, canceling all in-person events and classes on campus.
It was a surreal time because we were having these events in Burbank and we'd waited so long and it kept getting delayed and delayed and it wasn't finished and it wasn't finished, which is why we were always scrambling for places to perform the shows because we kept thinking we were moving in. When we got to Cripple of Inishman, we had opened the new space and it was Wednesday night of the second week of performances. And by that evening, I had heard rumor on campus that I could tell the way things were going, and I just had this feeling that Wednesday night performance, they're going to close us down Thursday morning. And I took my phone and I just tried to record some scenes of the play on my phone to try to capture it because I knew what was going on and I didn't want the cast to know. And then sure enough, the next morning we were closed.
SRJC had to find some way of bringing live theater to its audiences. With in-person performances not being an option, they decided to do live-streamed shows, where all the actors would perform from their own homes with backdrops, ring lights, costumes, webcams, and in some cases, green screens.
I have to say, as much work as it was, I think we really rocked those online shows. We made a conscious artistic choice because it's theater that we're teaching. It was important to me as department chair that we were still doing live theater. The actors and the crew into a live performance situation where things go wrong and they have to think on their feet and they have to adapt. By choosing to do it live streaming rather than pre-recording it and editing it, we made our lives much, much more difficult. I don't regret that choice because I think the shows had that live performance edge to them, and I think the audience felt it.
With this new Zoom theater format, SRJC successfully put on a full season of shows: Murder on the Orient Express, It's a Wonderful Life, She Kills Monsters, the Virtual Realms edition, and the last one was Overcome, a student-devised play where all of the actors wrote their own scenes and songs for the show. This brings us to the spring semester of 2022. It was a new year, and our audiences had waited long enough. It was time to bring back live theater to SRJC's Burbank Auditorium. The shows for the semester's season were The Curious Incident of the Dog in the Nighttime in the Studio Theater, and on Burbank's main stage, the previously canceled Wedding Singer.
I was very excited to have directed the first show in this new space. And I was really proud of the students and the staff and everybody who put the show together. And I'm a crier. I'm so worn out by the time a show opens, I almost always burst into tears. And Wedding Singer was no exception.
It was absolutely lovely to first see Curious Incident of the Dog in the Nighttime in the Studio Theater, to be there in the lobby with people, to have that sense of coming together again and that sense of community. Now, granted, everybody was still masked and people weren't hugging and people were kind of keeping distance, but the truth is, theater people are theater people, and so many people came up and hugged me, and I'm totally fine with that, right? We were just all like, we're back, you know? It really gave me a sense of relief and a sense of joy and a sense of finally coming home again. So to finally sit in Burbank for Wedding Singer and to have all that behind us is just such a relief.
Thanks, Logan and Sam. If you'd like to support SRJC's theater program, please go check out Media 19's own Julia Lubin in Gloria, playing in the Studio Theater, with 7:30 p.m. showings on March 8th, 9th, 10th, and 11th, and 2:30 p.m. matinee on March 11th and 12th.
In a heartwarming tale out of Pin Grove, an unlikely friendship has formed between a 100-pound Rottweiler named Maggie and a newborn lamb named May. Sean Dayton, owner of the Forgotten Farms, was surprised to see the two animals playing together after he introduced them last weekend due to the negative stereotypes surrounding Rottweilers. He was worried at first, but Maggie's kind nature soon shone through. It's heartening to see that, even in these divisive times, connections like these can be formed, and we hope that May and Maggie continue to enjoy each other's company for a long time to come.
That concludes this episode of the Oakleaf Online Spring 2023 season. Thanks for watching.
And see you next week.
This has been a production of the Spring 2023 Media 19 Studio Production Class.